the SD. These are all the steps we do. They decided they love the leaf blower.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I'm like, I should have introduced them to yard work a long time ago. All right, there you go. SD's cleared.
Top Gun.
Whoa, Top Gun. Lord have mercy.
He looks like with his aviator
does.
His aviators. You getting it?
Can I help?
Good work. Yes. He said he's got the metal chopper.
What is it called?
It's a bolt cutter. Because Daddy forgot his key. Squeeze it. You gotta have so big muscles to do this. Can you do it?
Can you help me?
Yeah, here, let's put it against my body. Move your hand. Yep. That's one.
Have you ever shot them?
Oh yeah, I've shot him, buddy.
When they're farming this trip?
Not this one. This is a new farm, but I've done it on other farms. And so this will make them come stop for the camera too. First you gotta paw the dirt. Can you paw that dirt? Like a big buck? Come on. Try it. Yes.
Xander, can you grunt for us? Let me hear your deer grunt.
All right, you see this? Look, watch. I don't have to squeeze it very hard and the drops come out. You just squeeze it real soft. You want to try?
What if you squeeze it super hard?
Well, you just waste all of it. Here. I'm going to put this down here. Put some on that. Yeah, just a little bit. Oh, on the branch right there. Good. Put some on wherever you want to put. You got to do it for me.
Grunt. There you
That. Hey, good one. Well, as you guys have seen from the other guys, we're changing the way we do our daily channel this year. As you guys know, we're each going to have a day a week where we kind of produce our what's going on. And it's meant to be just like the daily channel, sort of a journal through the season. For those of you that really enjoy following along to the details, not just when we kill something and put it on the main show, but really the ins and outs of our thought processes on each property and how we're going about tackling, chasing after a particular buck or just having success in general. I've got little Zan Man with me today, and we're on this new property, this property that I introduced on this past week's Monday show. If you guys follow along in the off season, you know that I purchased that 76-acre piece of property at auction this past spring. I've got access to and got under contract this neighboring farm to the east. And so it's an additional 114 acres. And to me, it just makes this farm. I mean, it's 190 acres, and that big draw that I talked about that was just to the east side of that new 76 is on this property. This property also has an additional 50 acres of CRP. So out of the 190, you got close to 100 acres of CRP. And then we've also got tillable up here and just this main wooded draw, bunch of big fingers coming down into it. And I think it's going to be just one of the best properties that I have access to and manage and hunt. And so we're closing later in the year, but the owners were generous enough to give me access to do work, and I got access to it at the end of July. And so we came in here, and when I had looked at this property with the previous owners, I identified a few spots for bow plots. Obviously getting access to it at the end of July, I didn't have time to put beans in or anything like that. And so I've created a few bow plots, and we're standing in the one I'm most excited about. It's right in the center of the property. Came in here, there's a bunch of little plum trees and some locust trees, cleared it all out, mowed it, sprayed it, and seeded brassicas. And then I left one little oak for a licking branch. Got this perfect red oak here to set up a stand on a south wind, and it will pull deer right up out of the bedding. There's an old gate gap, natural movement. There's already scrapes opening up, and so really super excited about this spot. And today we're gonna get cameras out and kind of show you guys around a little bit. So we can see this scrape's already opening. You see where they're pawing? You see where they hit it with their hooves? See the lines? So they come and they're licking this branch, and they're putting their scent around their eyes, their glands around their eyes on that branch. They're pawing the ground, they actually pee in it. They have glands right here inside their legs. They're called tarsal glands, and they urinate on them, and that's how they leave their scent to communicate with other deer.
So they pee?
Yep.
How do they pee in their legs?
Well, I'll have to show you that later, but this is the tree we're gonna get in. I love this beautiful red oak, pin oak. It's got bunches of branches. We got this scrape open on this end of the food plot, right on the tree that I want to put a stand in. So I put a Trax camera here, which the Trax cameras, they're not reliant on the CuddyLink system. They just send pictures immediately. And then I've got the CuddyLink camera on the gate gap on the little red oak scrape, where they're going to come in off the bottom, mill around in the plot, and then work their way up towards the destination ag that's off to the east. And we'll see which spot's hotter. I don't normally put cameras this close, but in this situation, knowing that this is going to be a spot that I'm going to spend some time hunting, I think just based on looking at it, aerials, all this good stuff, it's going to be a great spot. And having 2 cameras on either end of the food plot's I'm going to learn quicker how they're using this area.
So I have a question for you, Mike.
Yeah, man.
When you have a scrape that's opened up like this, do you feel like adding a scent?
I like to.
You do?
Yeah, I like to.
Why
Especially that Smokies. I mean, I think it's just like a intrusion, right? I mean, if a buck's bedded close to this area, he's using a scrape. I mean, obviously they're going to come and use it, and we're going to get a picture of them probably tonight. But in my experience, especially with the Smokies preorbital gland, it's another buck. It's a different scent, and when they get wind of it, they want to come and freshen it up and check it out and explore it a little more.
Get them mad.
Yeah, and so I just think add the scent, they're more likely to come. Let's see. This spot is a really cool spot. This farm basically has 3 fields of CRP separated by big deep draws, and so this is the back one. And the previous owner had a little 1-acre food plot here of sorghum last year. And so when I got access to it, I just came and worked it over, sprayed it, mowed it off, and then I made it into an L just because there's a really good oak tree for a bow stand. They had a wooden blind right here that they took, so I made it into an L. I do have intentions of putting a redneck blind right here just because I think late season it's going to be dynamite. It's going to pull from a couple big bedding areas, but then it's also going to be really good in the rut with this little red oak here. I don't think I'm going to worry about putting a camera on the food right now, but on this corner, on this red oak, we'll make a mock scrape, and then where they're going to come and go out of that back corner, I'll have to kind of see which spot I want, but I think I'm just going to do it across the neck of the L right here. Let's go take a look. What you think, Rye?
I think you know I love this farm.
I love this farm too. They beat me to it. I don't have to open it up. They already done did her. Dude, I love these oaks right here. That tree, we're able to see out into the CRP, and then this little finger is going to be dynamite. I like this one just because it's a little closer to the field edge. But looking at branches and getting 2 people, the left one probably is a little bit better.
So did you find this tree before you decided you want to plot here, or did you just use
Yes.
the plot because?
Well, like I said, the neighbor was there, but this finger was just growed up in trees. And it's just like the other tree. When we looked at the property, we drove down here, and I was like, ooh, that's a sweet, sweet spot. And it'll be perfect for any west wind, which is obviously, I was kind of keeping an eye out for those common winds. And there's just a ton of cover over there, so this ought to feed out nice. At least we'll see if it plays out like I think. This is like the edge of the old railroad. And so it just goes. But you can see where they're coming up and out right here. This is the third food plot. This one doesn't look too good, as you can tell. Last one to be seeded. Rye actually seeded it while I was gone at the beach, just because I had to cut a hole into this plot through the timber. There was a little opening, and so I brought the skid loader in here, cleared a lane big enough to get the tractor and the drill in here. And we seeded it and sprayed it pretty close together, and I'm sure, you know, Rye said he had come check it and it was germinating well, and now there's nothing in it. So we'll have to come back and spread some winter wheat and winter rye and oats and stuff just to get a little plot in here. But I really like this spot. It's down in the bottom on the creek. I'm actually got an excavator here. I'm working on making that crossing we talked about. I've got 2 crossings to connect the 2 properties. Got a little red oak to put a stand in on either side, and we'll have to see. Obviously in the afternoon the thermal's going to go to the creek, so on that side the trees questionable be big enough. I might have to put a blind down here, but it's a spot I'm really excited to sit this coming fall. Man, there's gonna be a lot of traffic right here. Not to mention the mowed lanes. And once I get it cleaned up a little bit more too, it'll be better. And we can get in that oak. And I'll have to cut that one limb to be able to shoot, but I went look at that oak. It's got a good trunk up high. Good. Last camera of the day. To say I'm excited for this new place is an understatement. I mean, I was super happy with the 76 acres, but being able to add this additional 114, the more I'm on it, the more I get excited. So September 7th, cameras spread out all over it, and excited to see what shows up over the next week. My main strategy on a new property like this, I mean, I came in, I mowed the periphery of all the CRP, and that's mainly for fire breaks, but also access. And so today, you know, I mentioned I came in and put 4 food plots in. So I've got cameras on the food plots on mock scrapes. And then on these mowed lanes, we basically just rode around where there are natural trail crossings, kind of trail hubs, intersections, inside corners, good hanging limb branches for licking branches. That's where I focused on putting cameras. And we'll see, I'll be able to be nimble and move cameras around. Obviously, scrapes are just starting to open up. So as we see things change and as we learn on this property, we'll be moving stuff around, but I think this will get us started anyway. I've got to get some more cameras out on the south half of the river bottom farm. You know, we picked them up in the flood, and we got a few out on the north end, but that farm is still uncovered. Home farm still has a ton of work, but the other thing I need to get done is some redneck blinds, and so I got a couple new blinds for this property. And depending on how my legs are feeling, I'm still a little worn out from hiking in Olympic. We'll either get more camera work done or try to get some blinds out tomorrow. Well, it is the next day now, Sunday, September 8th. And Evan and I just finished doing some work on the redneck blinds. We got the awnings put on them. I like to do that while the blinds are on the ground. And I'm pretty much ready to mount them to the trailers or the 10-foot stands and put them out. But that's going to be for another weekend. We're going to run down to the River Bottom Farm. Rye had to go pull some cards this morning for Monday's show, so I'm going to go replace those SD cards. He didn't have any with him. And I'm going to put the home camera out, maybe a couple cameras in some of the early season hot spots on the south side of the River Bottom Farm. That looks really good. This plot has not looked this good in years. Dang. Man, that looks good. Man, what do you think about that? This is a pretty looking plot. Turkeys are liking it. Just moved down to the River Bottom Farm. We're right under the fit stand. We're standing in this plot I call the Upland Bird plot, and I am super excited with how it's turned out this year. Normally in the past I do a sorghum and literally make a little plot for the pheasants, and then I would sprinkle in some turnips. And as I've figured out how good of a spot this is for deer hunting, I've modified it. We did turnips one year. Last year we tried to put brassicas here, but it droughted out and didn't do well, so we ended up putting the winter wheat, winter rye, oats mixture. And this year we got in here early, fertilized it well, got everything drilled with that rut greens, cold climate, and it just, I mean, it's knee high. There's quite a bit of browse pressure, but it looks fantastic for a half-acre plot. I was using that one on the 76. This is where Tiki is going to be. Tiki loves this spot. This will get a good shot of the whole field, and we'll keep good reception. Man, these are potted out well. This could be a good youth spot. Well, we are done. Last few minutes of light. Got everything done I wanted to get done, so we're at the 28. Got all 5 cameras up and running. All of them are still taking pictures, so I'm excited to get back and look at those. And this will be a spot we're probably going to be youth season. As you guys heard everybody else say, you know, if you guys have feedback, just let us know. Leave us a comment. You know, we got a couple more weeks of these preseason things we got to get done. Hanging stands, getting blinds out, optimizing cameras. And then season's here, so really looking forward to it. Hope you guys are getting your work done, and we'll see you on the next one.